Diane. In fact, Jim and his twin brother Brad opened a gift shop in Bristol, which became Diane's home. Her tank is surrounded by photos of store visitors. The brothers have written and illustrated books about Diane and set up a turtle webcam in their shop. Today, the 4-pound turtle is thriving. Her favorite foods are strawberries and romaine lettuce, although they had to keep off the romaine until that scare was over. But isn't that quite a story?
That is an incredible story.
Back in the day, everybody got these little turtles as you know, as pets.
Yeah.
And this one survived somehow.
They last a long time.
50 years. Happy birthday, Diane. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, we are live from the state capitol as Republicans are expected to vote on bills that would weaken the power of incoming Democrats.
Mourners are already gathering at St. Maria Goretti Church on Madison's west side to remember Bishop Robert Morlino.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with News 3. Powers of Democratic state leaders would be stripped under controversial bills lawmakers are taking up tonight.
Republican their balance of powers argument, but the Democrats are fighting back. Rose Schmidt joins us live from the state capitol with the latest. Rose?
That's right. Now, we've seen protesters here today and even more yesterday letting top Republican leaders know how they feel about these plans to weaken Tony Evers and Josh Kaul's power, but the Republicans who proposed those changes are fighting back. Dozens of protesters are watching the Senate floor from the gallery above today, but at one point, after 3 outbursts, Senate President Roger Roth ordered the people to leave the balcony. They responded with chanting, some even refusing to leave. They've since been let back in. Republican leaders say their constituents want this to happen, and they refuse to let Governor-elect Evers' liberal agenda undo the work they've done. But Democrats contend that these GOP leaders are ignoring the outcome of November 6th.
We did have an election. Whether everyone here likes it or not, I respect the fact that Tony Evers is the governor, and he's going to be starting on January 7th. But he's not the governor today. And that's why we are going to make sure that the powers of each branch are as equal as they can be.
And today, Republicans are coming in, wasting taxpayer money, bringing the legislature back for a lame duck session to invalidate the will of the voters who spoke loud and clear in record midterm turnout. And that's wrong.
Democrats have said they will consider legal action if these proposals are passed tonight, to which Speaker Robin Vos says that that is within their power to do so. He also says that there have been some changes made to these bills since they cleared the Joint Finance Committee last night, but they're still working on it. It's unclear tonight whether or not they have the votes to move these bills forward, so it could be a long night here at the Capitol. Back to you.
Rose Schmidt, live from the state capitol. Rose, thank you. Governor Scott Walker received some boos and howls of protest as he lit the state Christmas tree today. The ceremony was held in the rotunda earlier today. It came as Republican lawmakers prepared to vote on lame duck session measures to weaken the powers of the incoming Democratic governor, as Rose was just talking about. As the ceremony ended, protesters chanted and yelled. Governor Walker left without taking questions. The governor later tweeted about the protesters who drowned out a high school choir that performed during the ceremony. The governor said, "I can handle the shouts, but leave the kids alone."
All right, another chilly day out there. Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield joining us in the Weather Center. Dave?
Well, Eric, we do have some light snowflakes falling on the weather patio this evening, but nothing that will cause any problems. We've been dealing with the flurries this afternoon in some capacity for much of southern Wisconsin, but Doppler tracks showing a lot of that activity is starting to come to an end. But don't be surprised over the next few hours if we do see a few snowflakes. Live look in Madison at some of those snowflakes coming down on the WISC-TV Skycam. Temperatures have remained chilly, and they are in the upper 20s in Madison. 26 in Lone Rock, 24 closer to Dubuque, Iowa in the Mississippi River Valley, and 28 in Janesville. Wind speed's not too bad, but it doesn't take too much wind at this point to make it feel chilly outside, and it feels like 19 in the Dells, and in Madison it feels like 20 right now in Platteville. So we're remaining cold this evening, mostly cloudy skies, temperatures falling through the 20s into the lower 20s. A first look at tomorrow, another chilly day, but maybe just a little bit of sunshine on the way. We'll talk about the possibility for seeing some more snowflakes and an extended stretch of sunshine in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Dave, thank you. The nation pays tribute to President George H.W. Bush, who is lying in state at the U.S. Capitol. Hundreds of mourners continue to file past the flag-draped casket. Special groups of mourners also paid their respects, including those affected by the Americans with Disabilities Act, who were joined by Mr. Bush's friend and service dog, Sully. Also, staffers from the Points of Light, the service organization founded by President Bush, and his son Neil Bush accompanied the group.
I know my dad's heart would have been warmed. Ours clearly are, by the fact that there's such an amazing outpouring of affection and admiration for his life so well lived.
President Trump will gather with the Bush family at the National Cathedral for a memorial service tomorrow, a day the president has declared a national day of mourning. After tomorrow's funeral, President George Bush will be flown back to Houston, Texas. Another funeral service will take place there on Thursday, followed by a private burial at his presidential library.
Hundreds gathered to say their final goodbyes to Robert Morlino, the bishop of the Diocese of Madison for the past 15 years.
The 71-year-old died November 24th following a cardiac event. Amanda Quintana is here with how Bishop Morlino is being remembered. Amanda.
Yes, well, many who spoke at that funeral mass today said they didn't always agree with Bishop Morlino, which brought out some laughs, but they knew he had their best interests in mind. He was looked to as a leader, creating a path to service that many followed.
He promised paradise to the repentant thief. Bring Robert to the joys of heaven, we pray to the Lord.
Lord, have mercy.
Bishop Robert Morlino laid to rest in a Madison mausoleum, hundreds paying their respects. Although he leaves behind no children, many sitting beside his casket feel like his sons.
He would look me in the eye and his face would light up and he'd say, "Enan, my boy, it's so good to see you again."
For 25-year-old Enan Zielinski of Watertown, Morlino had an odd way of seeing something in him he wasn't even sure he saw himself.
My parents had talked about, you should think about being a priest. But it was never really a thought that was my own. And really in that time is when I met Bishop Morlino, and he had just a particular way of looking at you and say, "You should think about being a priest."
His legacy lives on in the 40 men he's ordained into priesthood and the 25, including Enan, studying to become one.
He said, after some time, conversation, "Jim, you want to preach my funeral? I'd be honored, Bishop." "Okay, don't canonize me."
Morlino didn't want to be declared a saint. He was not without controversy, but what he's remembered for is being a father, a hard job with the best intentions.
That was his motivation behind everything he did, was wanting to help people become as fully human and as fully joyful, finding that in Christ.
End of the Mass, sending heartfelt condolences to the local clergy and some of the mourners that were there.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thanks.
A judge has ordered a competency exam for a man suspected of attempting to buy radioactive material. 30-year-old Jeremy Ryan of the town of Madison was charged with attempting to possess radioactive material with the intent to cause death or serious bodily harm. According to the complaint, Ryan tried to buy that material from an undercover FBI agent online in an effort to kill an unnamed man. Now, according to a judge's detention order at the time of his arrest, Ryan claimed that he bought that material as a backup plan in case his cancer returned to end his own life. If convicted, Ryan faces a maximum penalty of life in prison. The Sauk County Board Committee postpones making a decision on an anti-hate resolution at a meeting today. The resolution comes after the controversial photo of the Baraboo teens went viral last month depicting what appeared to be the group making a Nazi salute. The resolution says, quote, "A truly great community secures the brightest future for its children when it opposes and prevents hatred, discrimination, intolerance, prejudice, injustice, dishonesty, and ignorance." The Sauk County resolution affirming community principles was postponed to the January 8th meeting of the Executive and Legislative Committee.
Dozens of new jobs will be coming to southern Wisconsin.
Comes as a company is moving its headquarters to Beloit. Our Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us live from our newsroom with more. Adam?
Well, Eric and Susan, it's a move across the border for Illinois company Sealright, who makes residential doors. They'll be moving their operations to Beloit. Now, this $16 million expansion will create 80 new jobs in the Beloit region. City officials were on hand for the announcement today, and City Manager Lori Curtis Luther says this is a big gain for the city.
Today is just an amazing example of how Beloit is growing and how our manufacturing and industrial community continues to expand. New jobs for the city of Beloit, and that's always really important for us. So it's a great day in Beloit.
Luther says her main concern is now making sure workers coming to Beloit for jobs have adequate housing. And the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is awarding this company up to $250,000 over the next 3 years in tax benefits for moving to Wisconsin, and work there is expected to start in February.
All right, Adam Duxter in the newsroom for us tonight. Adam, thank you. The men and women in blue are helping give back to their community. The UW-Madison Police Department holding a toy drive for Toys for Tots. Today, the department gave free coffee and donuts to people who donated new unwrapped toys for the organization.
A lot of times when you think of service and the military, you think of serving abroad. But this is an opportunity for us to come and serve our communities, serve the children in our communities who need toys for the holidays and their families as well. So it's really special because you get to see the smile on their face at distribution time and see them be able to have a toy at Christmas.
UWPD continuing to collect donations for Toys for Tots. You can stop by their lobby, drop off a toy anytime. They'll then distribute them to the families at a later date.
Frontier Airlines will be adding additional flights from the Dane County Regional Airport to Las Vegas and Orlando next month. Officials say passenger demand continues to drive airlines to add additional flights. Flights to Las Vegas and Orlando will now leave from Madison 4 times a week. Paul McCartney will perform at Lambeau Field in June as part of his Freshen Up U.S. tour in 2019. The Green Bay Packers and Live Nation announced the June 8th concert today. The Lambeau stop will be his first concert in Green Bay. McCartney will also be performing on June 6th in Madison. Tickets for that concert go on sale December 10th at 10 a.m. via Ticketmaster.
More to come on News 3 at 5. Up next, the director of the CIA updating a few senators on the death of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
And authorities in Costa Rica are now providing new information about a missing Florida woman who was celebrating her 36th birthday.
And a crushing day on Wall Street. The Dow plummets almost 800 points. The Nasdaq off 283. The S&P 500 down more than 90. We'll be right back. The director of the CIA was on Capitol Hill today to discuss the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
CIA Director Gina Haspel briefed a group of senators behind closed doors on the agency's assessment that Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman ordered the death of Khashoggi. Senator Lindsey Graham says the evidence is there.
MBS, the Crown Prince, is a wrecking ball. I think he's complicit in the murder of Mr. Khashoggi to the highest level possible.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Defense Secretary Jim Mattis briefed senators last week, saying there was no direct reporting linking the Crown Prince to Khashoggi's death. Sanctions have been imposed on 17 people believed to have been involved, but so far no sanctions against the kingdom.
Authorities in Costa Rica say they think that a body discovered near an apartment in the capital of San Jose is that of a missing Florida woman. Officials say Carla Stefaniak disappeared while vacationing in the Central American nation. Authorities also say they have detained a suspect in that case. Officials say the body was found about 300 yards from the apartment where she was staying in San Jose. She was celebrating her 36th birthday. Officials add they are awaiting fingerprint comparisons to 100% confirm her identity.
The National Republican Congressional Campaign Committee says it was hit with a cyber intrusion during the 2018 midterm campaign, and the breach has been reported to the FBI. The committee spokesman says the intrusion was an unknown entity, but an internal investigation has also been launched. The statement did not provide additional details, but added the security of the committee's data is of concern. The FBI did not immediately respond to a request for comment. In March, the NRCC chairman Steve Stivers said the committee has hired multiple cybersecurity staffers to work with its candidates and promised to do more.
Turning down to weather, we get a look at our forecast with meteorologist Dave Caulfield joining us from the backyard patio. Dave?
Well, Eric and Susan, the chilly weather is chilling out across southern Wisconsin for the next couple of days. Temperatures really not getting too much higher than the 20s, especially into the rest of this week. A couple of flurries here and there this evening, and some more flurries could be on the way Wednesday and Thursday. But then, by the weekend, we can finally say here comes that sunshine, and the sunshine looks to stay with us into next week. So that's a quick look at your weather headlines. We're taking a quick look at Doppler track right now. A few flurries here and there, nothing that's going to cause any problems or travel troubles. We'll zoom out so we could just see the extent of these light snow showers and flurries. So not much to worry about for us, but just to the south a little bit, closer to Kentucky, southern Illinois, and Indiana, some more substantial snow activity. But that's not coming our way anytime soon. High temperatures today across the Midwest, the 20s and 30s, maybe a few 40s closer to Dodge City, Kansas, but we're going to be hanging out in the 20s really for the foreseeable future in temperature land, that is. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, it's a nice night, I guess, if you don't factor in the thermometer today. Our high of 28, about 5 degrees below normal for this time of year. I went through that graphic a little bit quickly, but sunset was at 4:23, and we're actually entering kind of the darkest time of the year. The earliest sunset of the year is coming up as we head into this weekend, December 8th through 10th. That sunset's going to be at 4:22. After that, it gets later and later, which is what we want, but we're going to have to deal with those dark skies for about a week's time now. Temperatures in the darkness are in the 20s in Madison and also the mid-20s in Monroe, 28 in Janesville. Not too much of a wind out there, but when it is this chilly, it really doesn't take too much of a wind to make it feel like the teens in Madison and the Dells, 15 in Camp Douglas. It still feels like 28 in Mineral Point. So here is our weather pattern overall. You can see that kind of blast of cold air that comes into town just in time for Thursday and Friday. So the morning hours of Thursday and Friday, yeah, it's going to be chilly. With the wind chill, it could feel like below zero at times for some of us. Then it does get a little bit warmer. Temperatures moderate just a little bit, whereas we head into the middle of the month, and I think those highs will get into the 30s. Woohoo! But we do have to deal with a little bit of messy weather potentially by the time we get into the middle of next week. At least that's the way the pattern is looking right now. Tonight, mostly cloudy and cold with temperatures in the teens. These flurries shouldn't cause any problems. Tomorrow, some sun and continued cold outside with temperatures near 30. So high pressure skirting to the south. We still have some clouds with us. A cold front will come through as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. A few flurries possible later tomorrow. And as that front comes through, we got the sunshine back, especially for Friday. High pressure keeping everything away, but high pressure from Canada also keeping us rather chilly as well. So your 7 to 10 day forecast, an extended stretch of sunshine on the way from Friday to Tuesday, and those temperatures do head back into the 30s. Next Wednesday and Thursday, we could be dealing with a little bit of rain and snow shower activity. We'll keep an eye on that for sure. Todd Drive in the Beltline, as we take a look at your first alert traffic update, that is slow go in both directions. No major accidents or incidents to report across Dane County. Traffic generally heading out at the posted speeds, but the Beltline in both directions is looking quite slow. So be prepared to go into a bit of a crawl on the roadways at times over the next 30 minutes to an hour. Eastbound Verona Road to John Nolan, 14 minutes right now on the Beltline. Average speed of around 20 miles per hour. Some other routes in and around Madison. A little bit slow westbound on 12 Middleton to Sauk City. That is 20 minutes with an average speed of around 50 miles per hour. So the cold weather not really going anywhere anytime soon, but at least that sunshine comes back sooner rather than later.
Oh, yeah, that'll be very nice to see. All right, thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Ahead at 5, the debate between getting a real or fake Christmas tree continues. We'll show you how one campaign hopes Americans will buy a real tree. That's after a break. Finding a perfect Christmas tree is a must for many families this holiday season.
More than 3/4 of American households put up a tree every year, and 80% of those are artificial. Now a campaign is trying to convince customers to buy a real Christmas tree. Nikki Batiste reports.
So we're looking at how many trees on all this land?
65,000 trees on 65 acres.
That's unbelievable. Oh, these merry, real Christmas trees are not just filling John Wyckoff's 7th-generation 170-acre farm.
What are you guys doing out here today? Cutting our tree.
They're also lighting up homes and hearts during the holidays.
I think it's the memories. I think it's the joy of, hearing Melania or Daniela saying, we're gonna cut our tree.
What would a Christmas be without a real Christmas tree?
A choice the Christmas Tree Promotion Board's $1 million social media campaign,
there's so many here to choose from,
is fighting to preserve.
It's Christmas, keep it real!
By encouraging Americans to keep it real. To anyone who's thinking about going to buy an artificial tree, what do you say to them?
I wouldn't give my wife fake roses on Valentine's Day. Why would you want to have an artificial Christmas tree in your house?
A real tree like this, on average, will cost you about $75. Or for anywhere from $9,000 to $19,000, you can buy an artificial tree like this one, and it'll last you a lifetime. About 80% of U.S. households put up artificial trees.
We'd like to have an artificial tree because I have allergies, so we've had them our whole life.
Balsam Hill has everything you need to make the season bright.
Artificial tree companies like Balsam Hill are also stepping up their marketing and tech game.
This is just this section, and it goes right down in there, and as soon as it goes in, it lights up.
Mac Harmon created Balsam Hill in 2006 when he was disappointed with the fake tree options.
It comes pre-lit, which is a huge advantage, but also you don't have to water it, you don't have to sweep up the needles.
If you're really torn over whether to go real or fake, one solution is to join the 11% of Americans who buy both. Nikki Batiste, CBS News, Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
5 Badgers take home top national honors from the American Volleyball Coaches Association. Madison Duello, Sydney Hilly, Dana Redke, all region team for the Northeast region. Tiffany Clark and Tiona Williams received honorable mention honors. The 6th-ranked Badgers will take on San Diego. That's in the Sweet 16. That'll be at 1:30 in the afternoon Friday. If they win, they'll play the winner of 14th-ranked Marquette and 3rd-ranked Illinois on Saturday. Stay with us. Another Check Your Forecast in just a moment.
Here's a look at some of the stories we are working on. After the Dow drops 799 points today, Jill Schlesinger will break down what is happening on Wall Street. Did hundreds of homeowners go into foreclosure because of a computer glitch? And as Americans honor President George H.W. Bush, Major Garrett will look back on how one comic made a lasting impression on our 41st Commander-in-Chief. On tonight's CBS Evening News.
Finally, 5 of Pennsylvania hockey team's goal of collecting stuffed animals for children was exceeded.
34,798 stuffed animals were tossed onto the ice at this Hershey Bears hockey game. It was part of the Teddy Bear Toss, an annual holiday charity event. The Bears beat the world record of 28,000 set in Calgary in 2015. All of the stuffed animals will be donated to about 40 area charities. The UW men's hockey team, by the way, will be holding their own Teddy Bear Toss this Saturday at the Kohl Center.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's
I have
pretty
two
cool.
giant garbage bags I'm going to bring to that game. I'm going to throw them out on the ice.
Some of those teddy bears are huge.
Yeah, they are.
They've gotten bigger. Jay ran those highlights recently as well. It's pretty unbelievable. Final check with Dave Caulfield.
Yeah, it's actually very believable, not really that unbelievable. We have a couple of flurries outside, pretty cloudy. Doppler track showing a few spots of some snowflakes, but nothing that we really need to worry about. Temperatures falling through the 20s into tomorrow morning.
All right, we'll have another update. News 3 at 6, 30 minutes away. The CBS Evening News is up next. Stay tuned.